Welcome to Trainer to Trainer. I'm Sherwood Grant.
And I'm Lionel Pate.
And this week we're talking about squatting, one of the most popular exercises that you hear in the fitness world, because it's something that we do every day. You know, we squat when we sit in chairs, we sit at work, when we sit in public transportation, when we sit in cars. And we start learning how to squat at a very early age. Our perfect squatters are children, little babies. You know, when they learn how to walk, they squat and just play with toys, play in the ground. You know, they just have this perfect squat that I'm jealous of. But unfortunately, it's at that age and at that time that we start to expose them to sitting in chairs, and when it starts in the school. And actually, it's one of the worst things you can do for the body. Over prolonged periods of sitting really causes a lot of dysfunctions of the body. So we need to make sure that we improve that squat, because squat is a good indication of great kinetic chain movement. And if that squat is impaired, there's a lot of modalities and therapies a person should perform to be able to make sure that they open up. You just don't want to, squat out your impairment.
Right, exactly, and I totally agree. And squatting is a perfect functional movement. Most people, when they squat with only one muscle, or using one or two muscles at a time. And with me, and what me and Sherwood come to realize, squatting is about 3 to 4 different muscles at a time. And I think it's more so of using or starting from the core, from the hips, and back of the legs, the hamstrings.
Yeah, that should be the primary function in squatting. I know a lot of people sometimes focus on the gluteus maximus and they say you got to squat to get a nice butt. And a lot of people think that you squat to develop the quads. But, because it being so functional, those muscles that you don't see, that's deep within that core and that glute and that hamstring, the hips, just so important for us to be able to learn how to squat. So with that being said, let's perform a basic squat.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
let's grab a seat right here. All right, so one of the things that I like to point out in squatting is that we like to make sure our feet are a little bit right on the outside of your shoulders. Shoulder width apart, not too wide. So let's close it up so we're just right there, right? We want to make sure that second toe, that's the toe next to the big toe, is about 12 o'clock.
Okay.
All right? And we want our knees to follow that second toe.
Okay.
All right. So from this position, now a lot of people sometimes when they get up, they want to lean forward, or they push off with their hands, or sometimes you people grab something if it's close by. But I want to be able to perform this basic, nice sit and stand type of squat. So can you just stand up nice and proper for me, Lionel? Exactly. Good. And sit all the way down. Good. This is one of the easiest things to perform, and a person can start anywhere as far as learning how to perform a squat. So give me a couple of those. One more. 2 more of those at least. Yep. Good. Second toe. Knees follow that toe. Good. And sit. Right. So now we can change the difficulty in the squat just by removing the box or the pad. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to move it a little bit later.
Okay.
Or we can change our driver. So right now, what I want to do, I want to change the driver that we use for the squat. Let's do this overhead. So let's put that overhead. Let's place the bar on your head nice and lightly. Yeah, make sure we form like a goal post.
90 degree.
Yeah, 90 degree. And now let's lock your arms up over your head. Yeah, keep it nice and locked. And now let's stand. Good. Sit back down. Try that again. Good. You should feel that core turning on when you perform that squat.
Big time.
Absolutely. Right. Now, for those ones that have an issue, you can grab a seat. And let's put that bar on you over time. Yeah. Well, those ones that have an issue, what I notice too, and a lot of times when people are squatting, that they need to be relaxed up here in the shoulder area, and sometimes there's a lot of impingement that takes place for individuals that they can't even get their arms over their head. So I like the overhead squat as not as a beginner's, but as a development, an increment. I wouldn't really start at the overhead right away. I would probably suggest for a lot of people, let's grab this. Yeah, this is a little weighted bar. It's a 12 pounds.
It's 12.
Yeah, it's 12 pounds. And we're not going to do overhead. We're going to have that in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah. Slide your hands, and you can overhand. Yeah, just like that. Because you can use this weight now to help you stand. So let's go ahead and stand with that. Right. You see how easier that is?
Absolutely.
You know, even that's easier than no weight at all.
Right.
Stand and sit. So for those ones that's challenged with the proper positioning, then you can just put a weight in your hand and just grab a seat. Good. And you can push it out just a little bit if you need to even stand even more. Right. Now I'm going to take off this lift because you get better at it. Now you can grab a seat. And now, stand. It's a little bit more difficult. A little bit more difficult. Yeah. Now we're going to take you to the next level, Lyman, real quick. Let's do an overhead squat with this 12-pound bar. Good. And we're on the deeper box.
Okay.
Good. Breathe in. Function. Breathing. Form. And up. Good. Try that again. Breathe in. And get ready to breathe out as you come up through the heel. So breathe in and let the air out as you come up. Good.
Big difference with
the breathing.
Breathing definitely helps.
Yeah, and of course this height, you know, you just got to work it out. I just saw you work it out today, so you just got to finish work it out. Try that one more time.
All right.
Breathe in, going down. And then up. Good. Once you get moving, and you can relax too. Right. Yeah, once you get moving, you can see how this can really be a challenge.
Absolutely.
And you know, there's so many things that you can do with the squat. You know, right now we were just sitting.
Right.
You know, have that little pause. But I think by taking off the time that you actually sit, just by touching or tapping, you know, that's an advancement too. You know, so remember the drivers over the head, the drivers in the front. You know, having a weight compared to just a dowel or a broomstick, you know, you can definitely start to practice these squats at home. As Lionel made mention, you know, squatting is an everyday function, so everyone should really focus on that squat. And the more that we know, of course, the more we should do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to keep it nice and simple today, and we're going to come back at you next week. We're going to have some pretty good little squat alternatives, you know, some ballistic movements, and using the single leg, you know, that's going to be really exciting.
Very exciting.
Now we're going to talk about the lunge.
You guys tune in for that. I'm pretty sure you'll like that one.
Yes. See you next time at Training to Training.